At 0600 local time, the engines of a massive crude carrier rumble to life. 300 meters of steel begins moving southeast into the Persian Gulf. On paper, it's routine. In reality, it's a 6-hour journey through one of the most heavily weaponized corridors on Earth, completely unarmed. 90 nautical miles, 6 hours to open water, and every second of it under Iranian control. Because this isn't just a shipping lane anymore, it's a trap. The Strait of Hormuz looks wide on a map, 21 miles across at its narrowest point. But ships don't get that space. They're squeezed into 2 lanes, each just 2 miles wide, with barely any room to maneuver. 1 lane in, 1 lane out. That's it. Imagine driving a 3-football field long truck through a 2-lane tunnel, with no exits, no shoulder, and brakes that take 15 minutes to work. That's what this tanker is doing. And once you enter, there's no turning back. But the crew isn't alone out here. They just don't realize who's watching yet. Every few seconds, the ship broadcasts its exact position. Speed, heading, cargo, all through a system designed for safety. It's called AIS, and right now, it's doing the opposite. Because anyone with basic equipment, including Iranian forces along the coast, can track the ship in real time. The tanker isn't sneaking through, it's announcing itself, over and over again. Then the radio crackles, voices in Farsi, short, controlled, watching, and then silence. Moments later, something appears ahead, low in the water, not moving like debris, not drifting, just sitting there, waiting. From the bridge, you can't tell what it is, but it doesn't matter, because by the time you recognize danger, it's already too late. The ship can't stop in time. It can't turn without leaving the lane. It can only keep going. The object slips past, close, too close, almost certainly a naval mine, and not the kind you see. The more dangerous ones sit on the seabed, invisible to sonar, indistinguishable from rock. One detonation wouldn't just damage the ship, it could block the entire lane. But here's the real twist. It doesn't even need to explode, because the moment mines exist, everything changes. Insurance premiums surge overnight. Costs skyrocket. Fear spreads faster than any explosion ever could, and that's when the next threat appears. Fast-moving contacts on radar. 1 becomes 5, 5 becomes 12, all closing in at high speed. Within minutes, they're everywhere. Small, fast boats circling a tanker that can barely maneuver. One cuts across the bow. Another runs parallel just meters away. Cameras out, weapons visible. No shots fired, just pressure. This isn't random, it's a strategy. Years ago, a military simulation showed exactly how dangerous this tactic could be. Swarming attacks overwhelmed a modern fleet in minutes, and the lesson wasn't ignored. These boats aren't here to fight. They're here to remind the crew how exposed they are. Then, just as quickly as they arrived, they leave. And somehow, that's worse, because the real threat never needed to move. Along the coastline, hidden in cliffs and reinforced positions, are missile systems the crew will never see. Some skim just above the water, fast, silent, almost impossible to detect until the final seconds. Others come from above, falling at speeds that give you barely any time to react. No alarms, no warning, no defense. A single hit wouldn't need to sink the ship, just set it on fire. And in a lane this narrow, that's enough to shut everything down. But even that isn't the full picture. Because above them, something is watching. A drone circles high overhead, quiet, persistent, tracking every move, feeding data back to the coast. Speed, position, direction, everything. It doesn't attack. It doesn't need to. Because now, every weapon in range knows exactly where the ship is. This isn't chaos, it's control. Total, constant, unavoidable control. And then, nothing happens. The ship exits the strait. No explosion, no missile, no shots fired. 2 million barrels of oil, untouched. Crew safe, transit complete. So what was the point? Simple. Before this, passing through here was cheap. Now, insurance alone costs millions. And suddenly, there's another option. Pay a smaller fee, avoid the risk entirely. That's the real system. Not weapons, not attacks, arithmetic. And right now, the numbers favor Iran. But there's a flaw in this strategy, because just beyond the horizon, another force is waiting. Warships, helicopters, minesweepers designed for exactly this situation. And every day, more ships choose a different route entirely, adding time, adding cost, but avoiding the strait. Every rerouted tanker weakens the leverage. Every alternative chips away at the control. So the real question isn't whether Iran can dominate this corridor, It's how long that dominance lasts before someone decides to remove it. Because in the end, this was never about firing a weapon. It was about proving they didn't have to. And that might be the most powerful move of all.
If this kept you on the edge of your seat, subscribe for more real-world military breakdowns. Like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.